G'day folks, welcome to the Unpopular Reef. A bit of a hairy trip today out to Bear Island to get some urchins. Weather conditions weren't great, it's windy, it's rainy. On the plus side, there was heaps of parks, which is a rare thing for Sydney. Now what you will notice is there is absolutely no shortage of urchins down at Bear Island, thousands of them. Generally speaking, they're mostly short spine urchins, so that's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to try and find some of the more colourful ones, mostly brown and black, but you do occasionally get a couple of ones with red tips and some pinkish sort of ones, so I'm going to try and grab a couple of them. Alright, so this is grabbing the last urchin there. I've got 3 more in the net, and this is where the tricky part is, trying to get out of the surf without getting smashed up against the rocks whilst holding onto a net full of urchins, and it's actually a lot harder than you might think. The water wasn't incredibly rough, but it's rough enough when you're in there that, yeah, you can do yourself an injury when you've got a weight belt, a lot of gear on. So, anyway, I navigated my way out of it successfully, so here I am at home and I've got my 4 urchins. 4 short spine urchins. Now, I was going to cheat and get some tuxedo urchins from the shop, but with all the costs of petrol and the increases in transport, $50 for a tuxedo urchin. Outrageous. These things cost me nothing. So I'm going to add these 4 to the tank, and I'll be giving you daily updates on the how effective they are at removing algae. If you can take a look, you will see that it has actually gotten really bad. So there's plenty of food for these guys. So, you know, they should be happy as Larry in there. Anyway, let's dunk these guys. Yeah. Dunk these guys in the tank and we'll get a day 1 update in a sec. Alright, that's all 4 in. Seem to have a purple one, a red one, brown, another grey kind of one. See how they settle in over the next couple of days, and hopefully they can have a good hack at some of that algae. Like, look at it. It's terrible. Best of luck to you fellas. Fight the good fight. Alrighty, it's been 1 day since I dropped off my 4 urchins. I put them in right about here, and they all decided that they want to live up against the back glass. 1, 2, 3, and 4 up the top. How much damage have they done on the hair algae? As you can see, there's still a lot of work to do. They have eaten some of the algae around this area where I first put them in, but they haven't done too much damage at the moment, so maybe get them settled in and see how they go tonight. One thing I'm going to do to help speed up the process a little bit, in my sump here, I actually have quite a bit of macroalgae growing just sort of up the back there. So I'm going to take a bit of that out, put it up in the main tank to maybe outcompete the hair algae a little bit. So we'll add that in now. Alright, so I haven't been giving you daily updates, but that is mostly because nothing has been happening from day to day. If you have a look back there now, it doesn't look like it's much improved. There might be a little bit of improvement, but none of that's due to the short spine urchins. As far as I can tell, they don't particularly care for hair algae. Any reduction in algae is probably related to dosing. I've been putting lanthanum chloride in there to drop the phosphate down. Over here you can see that is the big chunk of macroalgae that I pulled out of the sump. That's doing a good job of shading that rock, and all the algae on there is dying and it's taking over, so that's good. Funnily enough, I have seen the short spine urchins eating that algae, so they will eat the algae you're trying to propagate, but not the stuff you're trying to get rid of. Which leads me up to what I'm doing next. I've got a bucket just down here, and I'm going to give you a quick look at that. Alright, so what you see in this bucket is a whole bunch of white glove shrimp or glass shrimp. These were the same sort of shrimp that I used to feed to my cuttlefish Karen. She was a bit of a guts. This amount here would probably only last her 2 days or so. But anyway, my theory is that they might like eating hair algae, so I'm going to put them in the tank there. You might, if you have a look just down there, that is a fish that I caught. I believe that is another 2-spot damsel, and if you've watched this channel for a while, you know I have a lot of dramas with my 2-spot damsels. Well, damsels in general, but I kind of like the pattern, so I'm going to keep that guy. But the real prize is this guy over here. That is a convict tank. Very rarely do I find these down at the beach. I'm a bit far south, but I did get him today, so I'm going to be adding him to my small tank, which I haven't really shown on this channel, but once he's settled in there, I'll give you an update. Anyway, let's get these guys in the water. Alrighty, so it's the next morning, and this is my healthy and happy little convict tank. I've had a couple of these in the past, and I've lost a couple of them. I think mostly to predation. I've had crab problems, and then pretty sure my cuttlefish ate 2 of them. This guy's nice and safe in here. He's in with a pair of clownfish, and yeah, hopefully he survives, and he'll outgrow this tank fairly quickly. Well, hopefully he will, and then I'll put him in the big tank, and he can play with the big boys. But he's looking good. As for my little experiment with the short spine urchin, I think I could give you my conclusions now. If you've got a massive hair algae problem, short spine urchins aren't a cure-all. They're mid at best. But yeah, it was a fun little experiment. I'm going to add about a dozen trochus snails tomorrow and see if that does any better. Well, that's the end of the video. Like and subscribe, all that nonsense.